Hey guys, we have a new video here today and it's going to be a quick review of the Doxie Go Wifi portable scanner. This is a small unit which you can order directly from the company or from Amazon, whichever you prefer. I think the Amazon prices are a little bit cheaper. I ordered mine directly from the company. The current retail price indicated on the webpage at the time of this video is $229. This is the unit here. If you want to have a closer look at it, I actually have an unboxing video which will show you what comes in the package. It's very small, as you see. It's fairly portable. That being said, I think there is a little bit of fragility involved with the unit, so I wouldn't be too excited to carry it around in a bag or something like that. But certainly if you needed to, you would be able to, as long as you made sure not to bang it around too much. The Doxie Go Wi-Fi scanner is unique for a couple of reasons. It has a battery, so you can charge it up and you can bring it around with you. You don't need to have it plugged into a wall all the time, which is nice. The Go Wi-Fi, which is the unit that I'll be reviewing here, actually comes with built-in Wi-Fi, and it's very, very cool. There's a couple of ways you can access the scans that are available on the scanner. You can either plug it in the old-fashioned way using a USB cable and transfer your scans off the scanner in that fashion. The scanner does come with 2 gigabytes of built-in memory, so it can store your scans in that space, and it also has space for your standard SD cards. So if you want to expand the amount of storage that's available on the scanner, that's also possible. The other way to get scans off of this unit is to actually press this little button here on the back that's a Wi-Fi button. And what that does is it enables Wi-Fi on the scanner itself. And the really cool part about this is you don't need to have a router nearby or anything of that nature. What the scanner does is basically sets up a Wi-Fi network that you can then connect to with your computer. So even if you're in a location, say a public building or something like that, where you don't have access to the Wi-Fi router and you can't connect the scanner to it directly, you can connect directly to your scanner with a Wi-Fi device like a laptop. And I think that's a great feature because it means that you have access to your scans whenever and wherever you need them. We'll get right to it. The first thing that I like about this is the size. The size is actually really nice. It's easy to put on a desk somewhere, kind of out of the way. It doesn't take up a lot of space like what a typical flatbed or something like that would. So the size of the scanner is great. And like I said, it is portable. Included in that portability is the ability to charge the unit. So the documentation that comes with the unit indicates that the scanner is good for about 300 page scans on a full battery. And this lets you kind of bring it around your house. So if you want to do some work in one room or another, or if you need to bring it somewhere like to the office, it's really easy to do that and do some scanning there. And you don't have to kind of bring all of the documents to it. Say if you have boxes and boxes of documents, you can kind of bring the scanner to the documents, which I've actually found is quite useful up to this point in using it. So far, I've digitized a large amount of documents with this scanner, and it's actually performed very well. A couple things to mention right off the hop. There's no automatic document feeders, so you're feeding sheets of paper in one by one, which can get a little bit tedious, but I found it wasn't too bad. It's pretty easy to sit there with the scanner. Like I said, the portability factor lets you, sit in front of the TV or something like that while you're digitizing your collection of documents. So I found that it was actually fairly flexible in that regard and made digitizing most of my boxes of documents quite straightforward. So now that we've heard a little bit about the features that are involved with the scanner itself, I thought that we'd go through the process of scanning a couple of pages, and then we'll jump over to the computer and I'll show you how the software works in terms of the Doxie itself. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're using the scanner is you're going to want to power it up, and you just do that by doing a long press on the power button here, and you'll see that it'll flash green, and what that says is the scanner's getting ready in order to start scanning. As soon as you get a solid green, you are able to begin scanning. A couple things I'll mention while we're waiting for that to happen is that there's this adjustable slider here, so if you're scanning pages of different sizes, you can actually adjust it down so you kind of prevent a little bit of skewing, hopefully, when you're scanning. And that's really all there is to the unit. Now, I'm going to just grab a piece of paper here and we'll do a quick scan. What I have here is a colored card, and I thought this would be a good test because it kind of gives you an idea of a couple of the ways you can scan with the Doxie. So I'm not actually going to adjust that slider, but I'm just going to feed it in this end first, and you just basically introduce it to the scanner, and the scanner takes care of the rest. And you'll see that you can scan fairly long documents, so I've scanned some pretty long receipts. There is a limit, but this should work. And there you go. So that's probably about the limit of where you can scan with the Doxie, is a document of about this length. One thing you can do, and something I appreciate about the Doxie, is that you can actually fold pages. So if you want, it'll scan things up to, I believe, 1.5 millimeters thick. So if I fold this over so that all the pages are together and then reintroduce it, I can actually scan that one page at a time. And I found that useful for things like instruction manuals and stuff like that, if I'm trying to scan them and basically rid myself of some of that excess paper and just keep it in PDF form. And that's really all there is to scanning with the Doxie. It's very, very convenient. You feed things in face up as far to the left as you can, and you obviously have the ability to adjust everything once the scan is introduced into the computer. So that being said, I think what we'll do is we'll enable the Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do, I'll just tip this so you can see, is there's this little button on the back here. I'm going to tap that, and you'll see our LED change to blue. And what flashing means is that it's waiting to connect to the Wi-Fi. Once that gets connected, we'll jump over to the computer and I'll show you some of the software. We'll import the couple of little scans we did there, and I'll show you some of the adjustment options that are available in the software provided with the Doxie. So what we've done here is I've just opened the Doxie software. This is included with the scanner, or I should correct myself, you can download it from the Doxie site when you purchase the scanner. And you'll notice that in the top right here, we actually have the device showing that it's available connected via Wi-Fi. So all you really have to do, once you've set up the initial Wi-Fi, and that just takes a couple of steps and the process is pretty easy and outlined on the included instruction card, you just click the import button and you'll get this window popping up, and it shows you the scans that are being imported. So I have the Wi-Fi enabled obviously on the scanner right now, and that's all there is to it. Now it's imported those two scans, and you can see the first one, like I mentioned, there's sort of a limit to the length of the scan that you can bring in with the Doxie, and that was probably about it. That's why it kind of got cut off. It was quite a long scan. So for something like that, you'd want to either fold the page over and do it in a couple of pieces or something like that. So what can you do here in the software? Well, there's a couple of things. So obviously this needs to be rotated, so that's quite easy to do. You can either use the menu options here, which allow you to rotate, or you can use the shortcut Control L and Control R. So if I press Control L, that scan gets quickly rotated for me. This one obviously needs a little bit of adjustment. Easy to do. You double click on the scan itself, and it gives you all of these different options. So you can actually kind of tweak things. In this case, I think we need a little bit of rotation, and actually that looks pretty good. Right away, the scan's looking a lot better, and you just click OK, and you're all set. Now, when you're digitizing documents, you obviously want to save them somewhere. So a couple of things I thought I'd point out here is that these are just sort of waiting to be processed at this point. So you can rename the scans here if you want to. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to show you the staple feature that's provided in the Doxie software. So what you can do is you can select multiple scans. This would be the case if you're scanning a multi-page document, a two-sided document, something like that. And you can click this button here called Staple. And what that does is it puts the two scans together, and you see the number here indicating the number of pages. If I were to preview that, I would then see both pages and be able to flip through them in the preview. So now we can see this is a two-page document and it has both of those things. As you can see, the scan quality is actually quite good. I've been quite satisfied with the quality overall. It offers features like OCR and things like that, if that's kind of what you're looking for. But the next step usually involved with scanning documents is to save these in some sort of a format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this ACLS card because that's kind of what it is. So you can do that. And there's a couple of ways to save your scans. So if I had multiple scans, I could select different ones, by holding Control or holding Shift, kind of the standard way that you select documents in most programs. And you have three options at the bottom right here. There's Save, and that saves it as a file. So I'll just show you. You have a choice of JPEG, PDF, PDF with optical character recognition, PDF with either that in color, PNGs, and BMPs. Okay, the one that I tend to use is actually Cloud, which is sort of a sneaky way for them to say that, you can save these items to your Dropbox or your OneDrive location on your computer. I typically save to OneDrive. I have a folder called Scans, and I typically save as a PDF document. So What that will do then is it'll save it to your folder on your computer. It doesn't actually interface with the cloud services themselves. It just saves to the folder on your computer that is synced as part of the service. And that's really all there is to the software. There's other options here, like setting up a different Doxy if you wanted to. Obviously, some more adjustments that you can do here. But really, the software is quite straightforward and provides sort of those core functions that you really need it to if you're going to be digitizing your document library. So that's all there really is to the Doxie Go Wi-Fi scanner. It's a fairly straightforward little device that makes digitizing your document library quite straightforward. The key features of this device are the ability to connect to either a Wi-Fi router, which is the way I have it set up and how I've showed you the process today, but you can also connect directly to the Doxy via Wi-Fi if there is no router available. Since I'm sort of operating a home environment, I've opted for the router setup. You can also connect the Doxy directly to a computer via USB if you want to transfer your files that way. The Doxy comes with 2 gigabytes of installed memories, so you don't need to use a flash card if you don't want to, but you do have the ability to use a standard SD card to expand that memory storage in case you expect that you won't be getting back to a computer for some time. The Doxy scans up to 600 dpi. You also have the option of setting it as low as 300 dpi to improve your scan speed and reduce the amount of space that the scans take up on the unit itself. Increased quality will cause a reduced battery life. The quoted battery life for 300 dpi scans is approximately 300 pages of scanning. Aside from that, there's not a lot else to the Doxie Go Wi-Fi scanner. I hope this review is useful for some people. Please feel free to leave your comments below and ask me any questions, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Thanks for watching.